Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Thanksgiving Day episode of Find Out What's in Pelenta's Forrest. Grab yourself a glass of water or a cup of tea and spend the next few minutes with me. And like I always tell you, don't believe everything you hear and check your facts. Do your own research. Don't believe everything you see either, because I'm supposed to be a pilgrim, but I think I look like a pirate. I'm not sure. Don't you want to know what my butterflies are saying? I think you do. Don't you want to know why my butterflies are talking? This is your Happy Thanksgiving, the last Thursday of November 2016. Ha! Take that, turkey. No pun intended. No pun intended. Anyway, how are you doing? Are you having a good day? I got some news. It's all about Thanksgiving, and you're gonna love this. I hope everything in your life is going great, and I hope you're gonna have a fabulous, happy, wonderful Thanksgiving. But these are some facts that you probably did not know. So I am going to share them with you. So let's see here. Giving thanks for the Creator's gift has always been part of the Wampanoag daily life for ancient times. Now, Native American people of North America have held ceremonies to give thanks for a successful harvest for the hope of a good growing season in the early spring, and also other good fortunes such as the birth of a child. Giving thanks was and still is the primary reason for these little ceremonies and celebrations. Now, as with the Native American traditions and with Native American traditions and American celebrations, let me untie my tongue, complete with merrymaking, feasting. This went on in England and also throughout Europe after they had a successful crop, because they had like a year of sickness and scarcity. So in 1621, when their labors were rewarded with a bountiful harvest, they started celebrating like crazy, and this carried on. So the Pilgrims, they gave thanks to God, and they celebrated, and this turned into a home tradition, and it also was a feasting with sport, which meant you had to eat and then party, and then eat and then party. You know, but anyway, the arrival of the Pilgrims and the Puritans brought new Thanksgiving traditions to the American scene. Now, today's National Thanksgiving celebration is a blend of two traditions. Bet you didn't know that. The New England custom of rejoicing after a successful harvest based on ancient English harvest festivals. And the Puritan Thanksgiving was a solemn religious observance combining prayer and feasting. So in Florida, Texas, Maine, and Virginia, each declare itself the site of the first Thanksgiving, and historical documents support these various claims. Now, Spanish explorers and other English colonists celebrated religious services of Thanksgiving years before the Mayflower even arrived. However, few people knew about these events until the 20th century. Now, these were isolated celebrations, forgotten long before the establishment of the American holiday. You know, and they also played no role. Now, listen to this. They played no role in the evolution of Thanksgiving. But as James W. Barker states in his book, Thanksgiving, the biography of an American holiday. Now, despite disagreements over the details, the three-day event in Plymouth in the fall of 1621 was actually the historical birth of the American Thanksgiving holiday. So how did the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag come to identify with the first Thanksgiving? Well, I am going to tell you. This happened because in a letter from Edward Winslow, he wrote to a friend in England, and this is what he said: "And God be praised, we had a good increase. Our harvest being gotten in, our governor sent 4 men on fowling, that so we might after a special manner rejoice together." Winslow continues, "These things I thought good to let you understand." I want you to, on behalf of God, I want you to give thanks because he has dealt so favorably with us. Now, in 1622, without his approval, Winslow's letter was actually printed in a pamphlet that historians commonly call Mort's Relation. Now, this published description of the first Thanksgiving, it was actually lost during the colonial period, but it was actually rediscovered in 1820. Now, there was a antiquarian, Alexander Young. He included the entire text in his Chronicles of the Pilgrim Fathers. Now, that was in 1841. Got a lot of dates here, so try to keep up with me. Now, Reverend Young saw a similarity between his contemporary American Thanksgiving and the 1621 Harvest Feast. In the footnotes that accompanied Winslow's letter, Young writes, "This was the first Thanksgiving Harvest Festival of New England." Now, on this occasion, they no doubt feasted on wild turkey as well as venison. But the American Thanksgiving also had its origin in the faith practices of Puritan New England. Now, they had strict Calvinist doctrine sanctioned only the Sabbath, fast days, and Thanksgiving and religious holidays or holy days. Now, to the Puritans, a true Thanksgiving was a day of prayer and pious humiliation. You know, thanking God for his special providence, auspicious events, you know, such as sudden ending of war, drought, pestilence, you know, it might inspire a Thanksgiving proclamation. You know, it was like having an extra Sabbath during a week. So in the early 1600s, they were not yet annual events, but simultaneously instituted in Plymouth, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Thanksgiving became a regular event by the middle of the 17th century. But, listen to this, the holiday changed as the dogmatic Puritans of the 17th century evolved into the 18th century's move. So you had the cosmopolitan Yankees by the 1700s, and they had this big emotional significance with New England families, decided to unite around the world, you know, and that overshadowed the civil and the religious importance of Thanksgiving. So now we have the Yankees carrying the immigrants moving westward with the popular press, and then you have the New England holiday traditions, and that's just spreading throughout the rest of the nation, you know. But this is what's really funny. The Congressional Congress proclaimed the first national Thanksgiving in 1777. Now, this was a somber event, and it specifically recommended that your labor and recreations that are other times considered, you know, innocent, cancel that for Thanksgiving. No work, just eating and playing. President Washington, Adams, and Monroe proclaimed national Thanksgivings, but get this. By 1815, there was no more Thanksgiving. They stopped celebrating Thanksgiving. By the 1850s, dang it, by the 1850s, I'm going to get this number out if it kills me. By the 1850s, almost every state in the territory celebrated Thanksgiving. Now, this is what gets really interesting, and you're going to like this. Okay, many people felt that this family holiday should be a national celebration, especially Sarah Joseph Hale. Now, she's the influential editor of the popular women's magazine, Godey's Lady Book, and that was from 1827. Now, she began a campaign to reinstate the holiday after the model of the first presidents. Now, she publicly petitioned several presidents to make it an annual event. Now, Sarah Joseph Hale's efforts finally succeeded in 1863 when she was able to convince President Lincoln that a national, now listen to this, you guys, this is really important. She was able to convince President Lincoln that a national Thanksgiving might serve to unite a war-torn country. You see that? Thanksgiving might serve to unite a war-torn country. So, you know what the president did? He declared 2 national Thanksgivings that year. One for August 6th, celebrating the victory at Gettysburg, and the second for the last Thursday in November. So if you really think about it, our first Thanksgiving really is kind of in August. You know, but anyway, neither Lincoln nor his successors, however, made the holiday a fixed annual event. The president still had to proclaim Thanksgiving each year. And the last Thursday in November became the customary date. Now, in a controversial move, Franklin Delano Roosevelt lengthened the Christmas shopping season by declaring Thanksgiving for the next to the last Thursday in November. 2 years later, Congress responded by permanently establishing the holiday as the 4th Thursday in the month. How incredible is that? So see, you have all these holidays and things that we celebrate, and most of the times, most people don't even know why we're celebrating or even the history behind it. You know, it goes on here to talk about, you know, most of the regional variations have remained largely a local phenomenon. You know, it's a means of connecting local harvest, specialty foods, connecting people, you know, and Thanksgiving has had a tremendous impact on the 20th century. Some of the things on our food menus is corn, sweet potatoes, you know, staple foods, you know, sweet potatoes, casseroles, pies, puddings, other Southern contributions, ambrosia, you know, fruits, coconut, biscuits, just a little bit of everything. So, you know, and this is a pretty cool picture because you can see you got 2 people, not you got, but you have 2 people of completely different races working together for the good of us. And then, of course, you don't want to miss that. You're going to have lots of that today. And the best part is you have a little bit of everybody sitting there enjoying their food. So, last but not least, says here, if there is one day each year when food and family can take center stage, it is Thanksgiving. It is a holiday about going home with all the emotional content those 2 words imply. The Sunday following Thanksgiving is always the busiest travel day of the year in the United States of America. Each day on the long Thanksgiving weekend, more than 10 million people take to the skies. Another 40 million Americans drive 100 miles or more to have Thanksgiving dinner with their family and their loved ones. And the nation's railways teem with travelers going home for the holiday, despite modern age, turmoil, and perhaps even more so. Because of it, gathering together in grateful appreciation for a Thanksgiving celebration with family and friends is a deeply meaningful and comforting annual ritual to most Americans. The need to connect with loved ones and to express our gratitude is the heart of all this feasting, prayerful thanks, recreation, and nostalgia for a simpler time. And somewhere in this bustling activity of every November's Thanksgiving is the abiding national memory of a moment in Plymouth nearly 400 years ago when two distinct cultures on the brink of profound and irrevocable change shared an autumn feast. And that, my friends, is your Thanksgiving, your happy Thanksgiving. I pray that you all have a wonderful, safe, and happy, blessed Thanksgiving. Be kind to one another. Tell somebody you love them. Give somebody a hug. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can go to my website and buy my book. I am so very, very, very grateful for everything, and I'm grateful for you too. So you go out into the world. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Make somebody's day. Say a kind word. You never know how powerful your words are and how they can impact somebody else's life for the better. Your words are important. Treat people the way that you would like to be treated. If you don't want anybody to hurt your feelings and be nasty towards you, then don't be nasty towards them. We are here to love and help each other. It's Thanksgiving. Let's make this one day every single day. Thank you for watching, and God bless you all.